All right. So the next topic that we're going to talk about are tuples. So I want you to create a new file inside chapter 6 and call it tuple.py. That is tuple. Now, I would like to explain what a tuple is. So I have this definition which I got from Google, and it says a tuple is an immutable, that is unchangeable collection of various data type elements. Tuples are used to keep a list of immutable Python objects. The tuple is similar to list in that the value of the items placed in the list can be modified. However, the tuple is immutable and its value cannot be changed. So let us briefly discuss this. Now, when we spoke about list, we explained that a list is just a collection of elements which we can store. A list is basically a collection of elements. Now, these elements can be different data types. And I also showed you that you can update the values of elements in a list. Now, a tuple is very similar to a list in the sense that it itself can indeed store it can indeed store a collection of different data types, but what you can't do is that you can't update the values in a tuple. Now, right here, it has been said that a tuple is an immutable collection of various data type elements. What that means is that once you declare a tuple, you can at no point in time change any value that exists within the tuple because it is immutable. So let's see how to create a tuple. So in order to create a tuple, you just type in the variable. I'm going to say names is equals to, and then you open parentheses. And inside this parentheses, you pass in the values which you want to store. So I'm going to say James, Daniel, and then David. Now, you can say that the key difference when creating a tuple is that the key difference between creating a tuple and a list is that when you have a list, we use square brackets. But then when you have a tuple, sorry, but when you have a tuple, you use the curved brackets, which are parentheses. So this is the basic way of creating a tuple. And then what I can do is I can just print the type of names just to show you that this is indeed a tuple data structure. So once I run it, you can see it gives us a class of tuple or tuple. So that tells us that we are dealing with a tuple data type. Now, this can also store data types of different ranges. For example, you could even store a list in a tuple, right? And I can say this is Daniel. No, okay. So we already have Daniel. Let's just say, okay, instead of storing a list of names, let's just store a list of ages, for example. So let's say we've created these three items in this tuple: James, Daniel, and David. And as the fourth item in this tuple, we want to create a list to store their ages. So I can say 30, 56, and 73. Now, what we can now do is we can print out this tuple called names. And once you print it out, you can see that we have exactly what we had defined, just a list that contains strings and a list. So a tuple is also perfectly capable of storing elements of different data types. Now, I want you to note something that I hadn't mentioned in the list. Now, once you pass in items into this tuple, each of these represents one entity. For example, this string is one entity. This string here is one entity. And this entire list here is one entity. So if you wanted to use indexing to access an entity, you know that we use their indexes obviously to access each element or each entity in a list or a tuple. So for example, James has an index of 0, Daniel has an index of 1, David has an index of 2, and then this entire list has an index of 3. So if you wanted to access any element, if you wanted to access this entire list, we know that this entire list has been assigned an index of 3 because it acts as a single item in this tuple. The same can be said for a list. When you store, like for example, a list inside a list, the list that is present inside the list has its own index. So this is also to show you that every single element is grouped together as one entity. Now, if we wanted to, say for example, print out this list, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in the next chapter where we talk about accessing elements in a tuple.